All right. Hi. Welcome to Frogman and Friends podcast, a podcast put on by frogmansfinds.com, your local toy store that's online. We offer the latest and greatest in the toy world. I am Froggy. I'm joined by my friends Jaden and Tiger. Thank you as always. Um, what we like to do here is we'll do some shop news, we'll do some toy news, we'll share our pickups this past week, and then we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, thanks for joining us and kind of come along for the ride. But yeah, we lately we've been doing pickups to start with, but I think we're gonna try to blast through our kind of our news for the week and then shift off into that. So um, this week was Todd. This is all McFarlane stuff. Um, so there was I mean, there was a sprinkling of some other stuff, but we had. Um, I think this one up after our most recent episode, but yeah,
Yeah.
30 put up a DLX version of Spider-Man from the PlayStation 2 game with like the Waldos, which is super cool. Yeah, I think we've talked about 30 at length before, but their stuff is almost always like die cast, at least to some degree, and so. The Spidey will be the same, along with I'm sure the Waldos and all that stuff. So yeah, really cool
I'm
to get him.
interested about that web that's like it's in a coil and it seems
Huh.
like almost maybe it's wired. I
I
uh I saw some promotional pictures of that and I haven't
mm,
like that one makes it look like it's just in a coil so it coils around his body, but I don't know. It could also be like that one's a little bent, like I don't know. It
that's
it
something I
could be
never
wired
noticed.
and that's something that I like. It's in the back of my brain and
That'd be great
yeah.
if it were wired. Because yeah, I guess this is the only picture that uses it where it does seem like it's just a loose coil, but if it's wired, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that he includes a smartphone.
Oh, I didn't see that either.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm looking here to see if it mentions what they are, but yeah, it just says spider webs.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm excited to keep one for myself. Um,
Oh
and
yeah.
if you're listening and you want one, even though it says sold out, I can order more. So just kind of let me know. Um, tends to be the case for most things besides Todd. McFarlane stuff, I don't know if he's like slowing down his factories, if he's doing artificial scarcity, but his stuff sells out like almost immediately. Um, I mean, I think on the read, like, for consumers, but also as like a wholesaler, um, at this point now, if I don't put in like a pre-order basically before the stuff goes up, then I'm not able to order it because by the time that it actually opens for orders, it's pre-sold out at that point. So, um, yeah, kind of. Behind the veil a little bit. Like my sales rep will call me and like, hey, McFarlane is putting out blah 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 blah. Do you want to put in an early order for them? And a lot of times it will be sight unseen. So he'll be like, yeah, they're making a classic Batgirl, they're making Hush, Riddler, and a Scarecrow. Like, do you want to put in an order? I'm like, those sound like they'll be popular. And so, I'll put in an order. But yeah, again, if I don't do that ahead of time, then I'm not going to be able to order them. Um, and so you can see like Batgirl and Scarecrow were real popular. I have like almost my entire order of the Riddler still left. Um, I'm guessing that maybe, people are satisfied with the Mafex one or, just kind of didn't do it for people, which is understandable. Um, But yeah, and something I also wanted to touch on, kind of um, talking shop, I guess. I could, so I, you know, beyond ordering blind, I can also choose if I want to do assortments or cases, which I think most people are familiar with. But this was a pack of six, and so I could get six back row or 12 back row, or same for Scarecrow. Um, but the more that I do of a certain type, whether it be a solid or an assortment, then the cheaper it gets for me. And I think, I think most people are familiar with kind of that wholesale model as well. And so sometimes people ask like, oh, why do you have, this many of this character? Or like, why you're offering it for cheaper? It's like, well, it was cheaper for me to, order three assortments rather than one. And so you end up in these situations sometimes where you have a lot of leftover of, one character, but it's kind of how it goes. So Riddler is that one for this time around. Um, and then we had I still have a Batman left. We did the Batman Returns wave. The This one I did one assortment, which was two Batman, two Penguin, one Catwoman, and then a Peacemaker. I never put up the Peacemaker. My sales rep said he wanted to call dibs, and so I was like, "Yeah, you can have it." Um, but then I did solids of each of those as well, just because I knew they're going to be popular. And to be honest, I didn't expect I would be able to sell much Peacemaker, but um, I think maybe I was kind of wrong on that judgment call. But I think people are really liking the show, and the newer McFarlane version of that character offers a lot more than the previous did. So what can you do? Um,
Yeah.
we did put up the Deathbird and Gladiator, which is a little bit of kind of like um, like a maybe further corner of the Marvel universe, but characters that people have been wanting for a while. And then we put up a bunch of cops. Um, I think last time we talked, last episode or the episode prior, said that Cammy was my most ordered item. Now these police units have become the most ordered item we've ever put up. And I would like to think so. If you kind of weren't connected this past week, if you weren't connected in the bigger picture, Hasbro was going to put these up back in June and then decided not to because they're bad optics around police. I don't think police have had good optics for a long time, but they were especially bad in June, and so they delayed it and they just kind of randomly put it up this week. Um, but I think to make myself feel better, and I think it was made it easier to swallow for others as well. I decided to donate some of the proceeds from the sale of this figure to the National Immigration Law Center, which is out of Washington, D.C. They represent low-income immigrants and their families. And so, the very people that tend to be exploited by the police and by ICE. And so felt like the right thing to do. I also print a bunch of little donuts that I'm going to include with them. I have them somewhere. They look like Cheerios. Um,
Yeah, no, that's a rad idea though. That's cool.
Oh yeah,
just
definitely.
felt like the,
I
yeah,
feel a lot more comfortable buying as many as I did just because of that, honestly.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think,
I think that's kind of what it is like these figures seem so versatile for like crime scenes and stuff if you want to do your toy photography about that kind of thing. Swappable heads and stuff that like is an easy pickup just for a generic cop for your crime scene or whatever. So I could definitely see a lot of people picking them up for that.
mhm, yeah. And I mean, I was not sure if I was going to keep some for myself. But then I was thinking like, I've been having so much fun with the Scooby-Doo Jada figures. It'd be kind of fun to, have like the police freaked out or like tied up and I can't remember the name of their group. Um, the Scooby Squad, whatever. Um, be the ones that are like catching the bad guys. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of cool opportunities, but um, yeah, I want to do more more colors, but so far I got
Those do look like Cheerios.
yeah, got a chocolate donut with with purple sprinkles, and then a purple glazed donut with white sprinkles.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
But yeah, like in this bag, I just got a bag of Cheerios.
Forbidden
Um,
snack.
That's great.
let's see. Actually, I opened this guy up like right before we started recording. But he's, gosh, I think he's too big. That's like the donut in very large cable's hand. So, yeah, it's fun. But yeah, I think for a lot of us don't like the idea of supporting the police, but they are very versatile for pictures, and so I think it was like a this way it ended up being kind of like a win-win situation. Um, so yeah, that was kind of the pre-order world. Um, and then yeah, as I just showed, we got all of our X-Men 97 Wave 3 in this week. So I am most likely going to keep a cable for myself. I have two more over there that I'm thinking about keeping for myself, kind of still on the fence. We got the retro card of Doctor Doom, and then Marin, the Sand Trooper, Marin, the Sand Trooper, and Barris came in the on the Star Wars side. Um, and then we also got our first Hiya Toys item in, which is like insane. And so I'll touch on that when we go over to pickups. But we also, oh, and we also got, I was just thinking, like the one item we got was like the biggest thing we've ever gotten in before. And then we also got Gargantos, I think is what Hasbro decided to call him, is like the Shuma Gorath from Marvel vs. Capcom. He's like the big green,
Oh
the big
yeah.
guy. I didn't keep one for myself, but we got those in, and he's also very large. So I was thinking like we got a bunch of really big boxes in. Yeah, he was the other one. But then, yeah, I think in terms of like not stuff that I've put up yet on the toy news world, I know a lot of, or at least there's some interest in Toga from My Hero Academia.
My Hero.
The Revo version came out, I think, last month. She's sitting unshippable from Japan for me right now. But yeah, the
That sucks.
Figuarts, yeah, sucks. Figuarts version came out, or I guess I should say went up for pre-order. And then these from the Chainsaw Man movie also went up. There's been like a fair amount of interest in these guys, but I haven't been able to order them yet. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. They just haven't gone up yet, I guess. So I've kind of been keeping an eye on that. But um, yeah, I know there's solid interest in that. Um, I don't know if this came out in America, but I know the Demon Slayer movie came out and did like big numbers in America. Um, I think I just saw like it's trying to fix our stupid Alexa device, and I was saying that it's the biggest box office numbers for an anime film since the Pokemon movie.
Damn, that's doing numbers.
Yeah, yeah, that OG crying Pikachu movie.
I feel like anime movies like that are getting a lot more widely like acceptable or popular here. Like used to, you never went to the theater to go see like an anime movie. Like that was just something that you downloaded or torrented or saw online or something. And now it's like a pretty big event to go to. Yeah, like the new Demon Slayer movie or whatever. Like it was a lot bigger than like when I was growing up, and there were no anime movies ever except for maybe the Pokemon movie.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Like or Miyazaki maybe.
Yeah, I like when I think of anime movies growing up, I think of like Ninja Scroll, like
Stuff I
this,
shouldn't have been allowed to see.
yeah, stuff that like went to Blockbuster with my mom. I was like, oh, anime. She's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like horrifically gory, like nudity.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like anime movies I've seen in the theater. I watched the Dragon Ball Super Superhero in theater with my friend. And that's fun.
That's such a good movie. I literally just rewatched that last night, and I was like, God, I'm so blown away at how good that movie is. I'm already probably kind of biased because I'm a Dragon Ball Super fan, but like,
It's a great movie. Like it's a like very well done anime film. I think it like hits all the right notes. It's fun to watch. Lots of like fan service, not in like the gross way, but just like I want to see Gohan
yeah.
kick ass, and he does, and like he's actually like lived up to his potential.
And
Yeah,
like
that's
the whole dynamic between Piccolo and Gohan is actually like addressed, and
Yeah.
they have a moment like where like it feels like they are father and son, even though he
Hmm.
has a father, but he's a different planet and he doesn't care about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
I loved in the movie that I don't remember if it was Piccolo or someone else that was just like, "What happened to you, Gohan? Why do you suck?" Like,
Yeah.
which is everybody was like, "Dude, Gohan's the strongest character in the Cell Saga, and then like does nothing for the rest of the show." But
Studying ants now.
yeah, like lame ass professor. But then, yeah, very satisfying. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so. I've been seeing people post like their pulls from the new Spider-Man MTG set. Um, I think people are finding it in
Is that out?
store. Yeah,
Oh
the
wow.
pre-release is no, I saw someone post that they were at Disney Springs, and at least at Disney Springs they were selling like collector booster boxes, regular
Hmm.
boxes, individual packs, all that. But with that to say, we should be getting our Marvel Legends Magic the Gathering crossover in soon. I think it was supposed to come this past week, but then the X-Men stuff ended up showing up instead. The limited stock that the wholesaler got went to some brick and mortars, and so should be getting it soon. But yeah, people are like. I mean, I know card collectors always like this, but people are spending a ton of money on these Spider-Man cards. So I like didn't think that the cards that are included with the figures would be that big of a deal, but I see now like, oh, there are people that want them.
Oh
So
yeah.
I think people that are just getting it just for the figure, I'm sure would be able to at least make a couple bucks off of the card that they come with. Um, so yeah, I think I opened up couple other news items. This one really pissed me off. Um, so both Target and Walmart have their like collector con, geek out, whatever, where they put up exclusive collector items. Um, this past Friday, on their splash page, it was just the Transformers and the Marvel stuff. Um, but people had said leading up to Friday, like, oh, I think they might be putting up the G.I. Joes as well. But then because they weren't on the splash page, I was like, whatever. I just woke up and I ordered um, Storm and Mystique for myself, and then I went back to sleep. But then they ended up putting up the G.I. Joe pack too, which I was like, I'm not torn. I'm not like killed about it. I like the accessories and I like that he comes with like glasses and stuff. But yeah, because I was kind of confused with the drop, I ended up missing it. It's sold out on Target and Pulse now, so it's annoying. Um, but yeah. I opened this up because this is going up on Thursday this week. This McFarlane pack is $80 for like a fairly large Godzilla, but he's only 5 points of articulation, or maybe even just four. I think his neck is articulated, and then his arms, and then at the hips. So very limited articulation, but because McFarlane hasn't put out a solid Wonder Woman. Um, I mean, the collector edition one that he put out was basically impossible to find from the get-go. I never even got my order for her. It was canceled, my wholesale order. So sounds like people are willing to pay $80 just for this Wonder Woman, basically, which is wild to me. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Todd makes people crazy, I guess. So um, we'll carry it. Um, I didn't know if people would jump, they would jump on it or not, but I guess they're kind of okay with that. So
Yeah.
um, she does look good, but again, um, yeah, Todd makes people crazy. I thought this was interesting. I guess Blockies are going to be doing Jurassic Park. Um, I think someone in our Discord said that Blockies, like they're becoming like Fortnite, that like they have everything. Like
No,
there's
they said
a
Funko. They said Funko.
oh,
And I was
Funko.
like, no, no, not Funko.
I think someone in the Preternia server then said that they were like Fortnite, where there's a Blockies version of like every IP, it feels like.
Yeah, no, I definitely get the sentiment that they were both going for, and like, I
Hmm.
don't think that they'll be like oversaturated or anything. They're just getting a lot of really cool IPs.
Hmm.
Like, Blockies is gonna start doing Marvel shit and
Hmm.
Jurassic World, all kinds of stuff. Like, that's rad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think as long as they are putting out like good quality stuff and they put it out like in a relatively timely manner, like give us everything. Like go for it. So I think it's cool. I'm curious to see more, especially for their Jurassic Park stuff. Um, and then yeah, I opened this up. I don't know what this dude is called, but I know he's from Godzilla X Kong. The Figuarts one or the Monster Arts one, I think, has already come out. I think he's the one that came with like the little baby Kong. But yeah, HIYA put up their version this past week. Um, but that and then um, I feel like there was something that I was keeping an eye on for you, Tiger. Um, oh, the Persona chick, right?
Oh yeah, Makoto.
Hmm. Yeah, so there's like a number of HIYA things that I'm still waiting to go up on my end. I'm waiting for those um, Chainsaw Man movie figures to go up on my end. So hopefully that stuff goes up this week. But yeah, I don't know why it's been delayed for us.
Mm, yeah, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on a lot of that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've been thoroughly impressed. Um, okay, so I'll transition over to our pickups and I'll transition over with HIYA. Like this is the
Oh my God. Beautiful.
this
That
is
is so sick.
the first HIYA item that we've gotten in, and like when like I open up the shipping box and I was like, holy shit. Like the box for this was like the entire shipping box. Like it was just basically a box in a box. I was like, it can't be that big. And then, I opened it up. I was like, yeah, he's that big.
Wow,
Um,
Oh, his wings
crazy
are
wingspan.
wired. That's
mhm.
insane.
Yeah, his wings are wired. Um, I don't know if you can, I can't even freaking see the screen, but his heads are
Oh,
super detailed. Like they look like statues or something.
that's
Yeah, but and then the
Amazing.
tail is like fully articulated, all that stuff. The wings go up and down, and then yeah, they're bendy wire. Um,
I'm sad I missed out on
Crazy.
that. That's actually really great.
yeah, like
Yeah, beautiful
I
piece.
I kind of want to order more because I know there's a lot of interest, but like I think shipping for this guy for each person is gonna be like 15, $16 unless you're like in the state of California. Um, but
It's a big
yeah,
box.
like I just can't emphasize like how big this guy is.
It
Um,
looks great from every angle too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mentioned in the in the Frogman Discord that like I haven't had this level of like childlike wonder for a toy that I've opened up in a very long time. Um, but yeah, when I took him out of the package, I was like, this is amazing. So HIYA, I am like thoroughly impressed, and very excited to get
Mm.
more.
And it's at a fraction of those monster arts.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is, I think
it's
retail's
like $100,
115.
right?
Yeah.
115. That's
Hmm.
insane. Because like the Monster Arts is at least $200, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be expensive. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're looking at $200-300.
215 is the lowest. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's down from 240.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a steal compared to those.
So
Oh
this is
yeah.
the one that we have. I believe this is the one we have. But yeah, like I don't know if he's like a if it's a boy or a girl or if he has a gender, but he's gorgeous. Um, yeah, and I like especially after holding that Monster Arts Godzilla, like that was so fragile. And you can see here that the Monster Arts one for Ghidorah is you have to have a stand in the crotch and then under the wings. Um,
Yeah.
but then I mean, as you saw, like I have like no problem. The wings are super, super sturdy. Even though they're wired, they're like, yeah, it's just the like level of quality. Um, and then also like at the lower price point, like it's wild. Like I feel like before Haya came along, like Monster Arts was just getting away with like highway robbery because they're not as good
Yeah.
quality as Haya, like nowhere
Yeah,
near.
that's incredible.
Yeah, so super, super impressed. Yeah, and then I like literally have not done anything with this cable besides just opening them just to show them off.
Mhm.
But I did. This just got done printing today. Um,
Oh,
the Hollow Knight to go with my Sherma, and then eventually I'm gonna print my own Hornet because my son printed a Hornet, but I have one for myself also. So I'm gonna paint his like little cloak and then paint the stand that he comes on. But yeah, I'm stoked for that. Um,
Yeah, they look great.
yeah, yeah, the prints turn out really well, so I'm very impressed. Yeah, and then these are the ones that I'm contemplating keeping for myself.
hmm.
Sunspot, I wish he had a Firehead, but the buck he's on is really good. I think he has like it seems like he has really solid articulation and could be fun to just do head swaps on him. And then I also like the flame effects he comes with. Um, and then Jubilee, I have the Mafex Jubilee on order that I think is supposed to come out this month. But if I'm okay with this Jubilee, then I'd rather just keep this and cancel the Mafex one. So yeah, those are my pickups. Tiger, I am very interested to see more about your pickups.
Oh, yeah, let me grab something just real quick.
Okay, then we can talk about your lights, Jaden.
Yeah, I suppose half of my pickups this week are not figures, but oh, he's back already.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah. You can go into lights if you want, or I can just do this either way.
No, no, no. Go. I don't even know what it is, so I'm excited to hear what you have.
Yeah, so first I finally got the Lado Toys Fox Mechanic girl.
Oh, nice.
Um, she's really good. She's got solid posability. She comes with a gigantic tail. This tail weighs more than the figure does.
That's
Um,
wild.
it is like slightly articulated, so you can kind of bend it around a little bit. But for now, I've just not plugged it in on the back. I may try to finagle like a smaller tail that's not as restricting because it is like super, super heavy. But she's got a great look. This is my first Lado toys, and she feels good to pose. Has cool accessories. She's got like a little belt that she can put all her little mechanic tools in, and yeah, really like it. That's the first thing I've ever gotten from that company, and really solid. And then the thing that I went to go get was this giant bastard. This is the biggest Figma I think I've ever
Mm.
seen. This Figma Ganon. Um, he is really, really crazy looking. Like he's got great detail. The only thing I would say is all of his robes are plastic. So like this on his wrist here,
Hmm.
his sleeve, it kind of gets in the way a little bit. I'd rather have like honestly just less sleeve right here would be fine with me. But his like ponytail has a little um joint on it.
Mm.
His sash here in the front and the back, uh it's like the molded plastic, which looks really nice, but um it has hinges on it and stuff, and uh he has a ton of weapons and they're huge.
Mm.
This this thing right here, this bow piece that he's got is like
That's
taller
huge.
taller than him by so much. He's got some incredible weapons here. He's got a let me just grab these real quick. It's really cool. He's got a really nice katana and like a scabbard here. It's
Wow.
very
Wow.
nice. Uh, and then this is another gigantic weapon. It's his big like Chinese style spear,
Wow.
and it is just absolutely massive. Again, this is so much bigger than the actual figure, but it comes with some face plates and some alternate hands and stuff, the bow and arrow, and like I don't I don't get a whole lot of Figma or whatever, but I do like these. So yeah, I'm still waiting on Zelda, but a pretty good figure. He has more articulation than I thought he would be, but he's probably about what you're imagining. Like his robes get in the way a little bit. He's got a bit of ab crunch. He's got like a tiny bit. It's nothing to write home about, but you can get him moving at least. But yeah, those are my pickups.
How high does his legs kick up?
Not that high. I would say you're you're not
It's not
even
terrible.
quite getting. Yeah, it's more than you would expect, honestly. But yeah, you're definitely not going to be hitting like rider kicks with this one
Yeah.
or anything.
Does he have any butterfly?
Uh, yeah, yeah, a little. And yeah, I don't think they're drop down, no. But I mean, considering the outfit being this like kind of flowy robe thing, I think they did a pretty good job articulating around it and making it work. But he looks great just standing there, super imposing, holding his big weapons or whatever. So I'm really liking it.
Nice. I like
Yeah.
trying to think of like what the word is to describe his look. Like almost like a like feudal lord in like casual attire or something. Like he's not armored obviously, but it also has like the weaponry. Yeah, it kind of has like the Chinese vibes, or even like it reminds me of the Gerudo warriors, kind of like the um Middle Eastern vibes. So I don't know. I think it's a cool look for Ganon either way.
Yeah, he's always taken cues from like samurai culture, Middle Eastern culture. Like in Wind Waker, he's like just a straight up samurai. He has a samurai sword and like
Yeah.
the uh, cloth gi and everything. But yeah, those are my pickups. So, what about you, Jaden?
Half of my pickups this week are actually gear. I got lights, as Frogman was alluding to. This is one of them. It's a 40 watt. Um, it'll actually focus on this. 40
Nope.
watt. Um, just straight white light. LED, and this thing is insanely bright. Like ridiculously bright. I have almost blinded myself a couple times with this. Um, I would turn it on, but it would just white everything out. And then I also picked up this light as well. This is a 100-watt RGB light, which if I turn this on, it would definitely white everything out and blind me. But uh, it has been so good for my photography. I've uh been taking pictures with the amount of range that you would expect from uh daylight, complete daylight.
Hmm.
Uh, I have showed off my settings to Frogman a little bit, and like the settings are, I mean, 100 ISO, 60th shutter speed,
Hmm.
and f like two. Was
Hmm.
it two
Two eight
point something?
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, and uh, yeah, it's still like getting some white out on the exposure. It's so crazy how bright these things get, and it's going to really open up a lot of possibilities for my pictures in the future, which is basically what I wanted at the end of the day, just to have that range. I don't even have to put them at 100% all the time. I don't have to put them at 50% all the time. I can have them at like 10% and still get the quality that I need to get. Um, but have that extra range is really nice, and I don't think I'll be getting any lights anytime soon.
Yeah, that's wild. And
Yeah,
I think more than anything, it makes me happy because I'm seeing you take pictures again after like a year and a
yeah,
half break, which is, yeah, nice to see. But yeah, I mean, I guess for
yeah,
those that aren't like super familiar with photography, like if you're going on full auto on like a, not phone camera, if you walk out into like broad daylight, like middle of the day, noon, you have everything going automatic. If it's like, a fully bright day, the settings that Jaden described are what your camera would go to. Um, Basically, like it's saying there's so much light, we're gonna go to the basically like the least sensitive film, which is the ISO. Um, and then the shutter is going fast enough, faster than like, the human eye basically. And then the aperture being the size of the hole that's letting in the light. Like if anything, that's letting in maybe more light than what you would have if you're in broad daylight. But everything else is almost one to one. And so the fact that you can create daylight in your room is like it's like mad scientist level.
yeah. I'm loving it so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my technical pickup. The other pickup I had is just more of these guys. The I got in. This is a bit of a story, I guess. I got these Death Company soldiers in. If they will ever focus. Oh my god, what's up with my
Yeah, your
camera
camera
today?
doesn't want to
But
focus today.
yeah, well, these guys came in today. They're Blood Angel Death Company. So they have the little red X's on their shoulders and their knees and everything to represent the wounds of Sanguinius. Basically, blonde vampires who think they are Sanguinius in the heat of battle and are sent out there just to like live out their last moments of life, thinking that they are Sanguinius fighting off their brother Horus um, in an epic bloody battle. Uh, and they that's one of the like squads of the Blood Angels that really appealed to me when I was first learning about Sanguinius and the Blood Angels and everything. It's taken me a while to get those, and I thought I got scammed on eBay, but turns out that actually came through, and all sorts of stuff like that. But so now I have actually two sets of these guys. I got a whole other. This is the same guy.
So cool.
Um, so I don't know. I might customize those guys a little bit. Slap some purity seals on them or something. Get them in some crazy poses. But yeah, they've been
Yeah.
a lot of fun. I've been enjoying the Warhammer line uh quite a bit from Joy Toy, and these guys are a little on the. These are the smallest ones that I've gotten so far because they're firstborns. Which in
Mm.
lore means they're a little shorter than the regular Space Marines, but still very well articulated, and yeah, I'm liking them a lot.
Yeah, and I love that like aspect, that you shared with us earlier today. Like, you found an accessory and you gave it to one of your guys. Like, yeah, and I mean, I
Oh
think
yeah,
this is
no,
a
yeah,
huge appeal to Warhammer mini community is that like you kind of just do whatever you want in terms of like customizing and like making them your own. Like, there isn't like a hard and fast like this is what the X-Men uniform is and what blah blah blah. Like, yeah, the I don't think you're gonna get
oh
focused
my god.
tonight.
Well, I maybe a little bit. You can see the little
Yeah.
chalice that he's got. I took it off of Bartholomew Vex, which is like the Beelzebub
Mm.
Mezco figure, and it's got like green little ovals all around it, and I painted those red. It's supposed to be wine, but I painted it a little bit more of a reddish hue, so it looks like it's blood that's been sitting out for a little bit. Um, so yeah, I've been having so much fun with these, and like you were saying, the Warhammer minis, the about half of the appeal that I've been seeing from watching videos and stuff is like you get these kits and you can take like pieces of the kits and put them on other characters. You can kit bash whole new armies. You can do whatever you want. There's also like completely kit bashing kits that you can buy with just accessories that from Games Workshop and everything like that. You can paint them up however you want. You can dirty them up however you want. Whatever look that you want, you can have. And it's so cool that Joy Toy has sort of kept that vibe and that like you can just do whatever with these figures, and I love that it has that sort of freedom,
Hmm.
and
Yeah. Little personal touch.
compatibility with one another. Yeah.
It's kind of dumb on my part, but yeah, watching like um videos about like painting minis and all that stuff and yeah, like kit bashing. I was like, oh, you're putting together different model kits, kit bashing. Like, I guess I just never
it
put like two and two together.
so I had known that from the time of Warhammer, but you don't think about it as like a figure collector because like
Hmm.
there are no action figure kits or anything like that, but
Hmm.
like the amount of accessories, like I have been keeping a bag of accessories that will fit any sort of blood angel in just a large bag, and they it's becoming so big that like I'm probably going to have to get an even bigger bag once I unbox all these guys. It's a lot, and they give you so much in order to make these guys how you want them, and yeah, awesome.
That's really cool.
See. Yeah, this I I started watching some of her stuff. I
Oh,
don't know if
she's
you,
very good. I like her Gundam videos too.
yeah, so I guess she worked at um Games Workshop or whatever, the people that make Warhammer stuff. She was on their crew for a while. I don't think she works with them anymore, um but yeah, I was like I started watching this, like everything that she uses as like a miniature painter. And so I've been learning a lot from her. But yeah, she also does like Gundam kits and stuff, which is cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, Rogue Hobbies on YouTube if you're curious. But yeah, she has like a lot of she seems like pretty knowledgeable. She's nice. She like will mention like, yeah, this is, so and so company, like they gave this to me or they made it, but like they gave it to me because I was already using it a bunch. And so I don't feel like she's like trying to sell one thing or another. It's just like this is actually like good quality stuff, which I
Yeah.
appreciate.
A
Um,
lot of good beginner tips from her too. I really like her channel.
yeah, yeah, very friendly approach rather than like I think what is easy to be like, oh, if you don't use this speed paint, then blah blah blah. Like, yeah, she's very friendly about it. But yeah, we were thinking we could maybe at least touch on kind of customizing a little bit. I mean, obviously, Warhammer Minis is like you have to paint it. You don't get the option to not customize it. Like it comes just gray. Um,
Mhm.
but I think it becomes kind of an optional thing for, figure collectors. But I thought it might be fun to touch on it a little bit this week. Um, yeah, so for example, just because I have it next to me, I think I'd mentioned this actually in a previous episode, but General Thane, um, I don't know if you can tell, but I did put like a very light like gray wash on his fur um, to kind of pull out some of that contrast. I didn't finish it yet, and I have to do his heads and stuff, and then I want to make his scar look a little bit more fresh. Yeah, that's like something that um, kind of I have on my like what do you call my work desk, my workbench. Um, I always tend to kind of have a number of things that I'm working on at the same time. I guess it's just you end up kind of like getting distracted. But yeah, so my goal with with doing that, and I don't have a brush near me, but ugh, not step on this giant dragon. Ugh. But if like I'm using this as an example, like what I did for him is I just dabbed the paintbrush, like the very tip of it. And actually, she was saying that it's very common for people to use makeup brushes, actually, like the big like poof makeup brush for dry brushing. So I might try to go dig for an old one from my wife's stuff. But yeah, so I just dipped the very tip of it into the gray paint, and then I was just like literally dry brushing it. So. There's very little paint at the end of the brush, and I'm brushing over the top of it, and the paint is just sticking to the top of the fur details, um, and so that's giving it kind of like that whitish look. I could probably go lighter if I wanted to make it more subtle, but I like the idea of him kind of being like a seasoned general, so that's what I wanted to go with. Um, and then yeah, like on um, kind of the other side, and I think I mentioned this when I showed this guy off before, but the base was just like a gray, like the base gray, like this, which is something that I printed for one of our friends. Um, and I like the idea of making it look like kind of more of the environment that the game takes place in. And so oh, you can see the gray on the bottom, but I went over with like a mix of, I can't even show you. This is also something I 3D printed. Um, but I put a mix of black and brown to make like um, a very dark dirt mud look. And I did that as like the first layer. And then I went over it with like, again, kind of just using um, the tip of the brush. And I was just like, while I was talking to somebody, I was just kind of doing little bits and bobs around it to make it look like fallen grass or whatever. And so, yeah, I was really happy with how that turned out. And that's kind of what I want to do with the base for the Hollow Knight as well. But those are some quick examples. What are some of the customizing things that you've been doing lately, Jaden?
Well, aside from this,
Goblet.
the Sanguinius, I've been really, I guess I haven't really been doing all that much in person, other than like this Kit Bash.
Mm,
But like I've been watching a lot of those mini videos that you were talking about as well, and it's gotten my painting abilities up a lot more than I expected, because I just painted the goblet today, and I was actually kind of impressed with how much I was able to do without messing it up. And the first like layer I did with a different type of paint than I usually do, and I had to wipe it off because it was drying too quickly, I guess, and
mm,
I wasn't thinning properly. So I just wiped it off, but I went back to my regular paints, and it was it went very, very smoothly. And I need to eventually get myself a wet palette in order to get those like extremely thin layers, so that I can
mm,
uh go over very slowly and meticulously on um my figures. But one thing I have also been working on, I don't have them here, but I've been with one of the extra bodies that I had for the Space Marine. I bought a pin vise,
I need one of
and
those.
I've been drilling little holes in him, and using my Exacto and a little Gundam marker and stuff like that, and just like trying to really nail down bullet holes and
Mm,
like chinks in armor, and like cuts in the armor and stuff like that, where it looks more worn in. And I
hmm
wouldn't do that with my Blood Angels, just because they have like a thing about having their armor be pristine and everything. But
mm,
with the Ultramarines, who you know is the body that I'm working on, that I used some of his parts for some of these Blood Angels, so I know it's not gonna end up with anything. It's just a dud, really,
mm,
leftovers essentially. And I know I'm not gonna mess it up, so I've been like drilling a little hole, adding some little Exacto knife marks and everything, and then you know doing some shading on that. And it's been a really fun process, and that's been most of what I've been doing in terms of customizing. Just practice mostly.
yeah. Yeah, and I actually, and makes me feel like such a noob, but like I didn't know what a wet palette was until I watched some of her stuff. And yeah, it's like very kind of basic ideas, like water that's separated by, I guess this is called like a hydration foam pad, but you can make one just using like parchment paper, she said. Um,
Mhm.
and then you can put your paints on top of it, and it just keeps your, as it would suggest, it keeps your paints wet. Um, which like kind of again going back to what I have over here, like I would, put the paints in here and then just kind of mix them. But then when you mix them, like you get a ton on your brush, and then like you just end up losing a lot of paint. But yeah, it seems like, and I haven't tried this for myself yet, but it seems like a wet palette like is really good for, yeah, kind of fine tuning your gradients, mixing your colors. Um, yeah, it just seems like it makes it like a much more like kind of clean painting process. Is that kind of like the vibe that you got too, Jaden?
I what really draws me into it is that you can sort of thin out your paints without
Yes.
them drying very fast.
Yes, that's right.
So you can just you can make them as watery as possible with the brush, and get that level of wateriness on the tip, and then do your painting, and knowing that it's not going to dry out in the little puddle that you've made on
Hmm
the wet palette. So where I was just doing it on a bit of cardboard from
Same.
McDonald's Happy Meal, I
Nice. Yep.
like that obviously is going to dry up really quickly. So I ended up, making a little path down one way and then a path down another way because that
Yep.
dried up too quickly, and then
Yep.
another path. Whereas on a wet palette, I would just have to. I
Just
mean, just one is fine. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I really want to try making my own at some point. I don't feel like I have like a huge project that I'm painting right now, at least, but it's definitely like something I want to keep in my back pocket. And yeah, like you're mentioning, like I always have a paper towel next to me as I'm painting that I'll just like, very quickly like dab stuff off if I feel like I made a mistake, or if I'm doing um if I'm doing a wash on something, which is, you're basically at least like 50-50 paint and water. Sometimes I go more water than paint. And so, like a black wash is very common where, um, you know, black paint and water, and then you're painting it kind of like haphazardly, like over whatever it is. And it's the opposite um, of a dry brush where the wash is going into the crevices rather than going on top of the layers like the dry brush is. Um, and so, yeah, people will do that as a technique to basically make stuff look dirty, or like weathered. Like this bar that I still don't know if I'm going to do anything with. Like I gave it a ton of washes to try to make it look grimy. But what I've kind of learned through mistakes and all that stuff, like because this is um, just flat, there's no crevices for that to go into, and so it doesn't turn out that well, which is why I haven't used it for anything. But yeah, yeah, I was so scared of doing custom stuff for such a long time because I was like, I know how shaky my hands are, um, and that I've never been like a tactical artist. I've always kind of been more drawn to like the digital photography film kind of stuff, but um, yeah, I feel like painting figures is surprisingly forgiving. And so I've messed up maybe like a handful of things, but nothing is like where I feel like I have to throw it away. I feel like you can always kind of redeem it. So yeah, it's been fun. Um, I think the one that I'm most proud of, and I don't have it with me, and I don't have a picture handy, but the Dash Rendar Black Series that just came out. Um, the figure itself, which we have in stock if you don't have them yet and you still want him. Um, yeah, he's like very much just like kind of, brown hair, clean shaven compared to um a lot of the more well-known kind of images or like looks for him where he's more of a redhead. He's kind of like very dirty, and so from Rare and Elusive on Instagram and in our Discord. He did it first, which was put some red in his hair and then basically painted stubble on his face. I followed his example and it turned out surprisingly well. I really thought I was going to jack that up, but it turned out well. So I'm very happy with that
Nice.
one.
Yeah. Just a little bit can go a long way, and I sort of love that about GI Joes and stuff too, where like Toby, one of our mutual friends on our a bunch of servers that we're in,
Hmm.
um, he just repainted like a lot of little bits on a GI Joe where like the grenades were just cast in a straight green and they looked awful, but he uh painted them black, but silver like edge around the little the ring where the pin is connected to. And painted the spoon silver as well, and then the actual grenade a more like realistic green, and it looks fantastic. And just a couple details like that on like a GI Joe, making little buckles actually silver, making plastic straps black, whatever, on the because they take the time to mold all those things, but they don't necessarily paint them all. Um, and it makes the figure 10 times better, just with a
Hmm.
little bit of effort.
Super small things. Like I think someone that were to look at it wouldn't think like, oh, you customize it, but it just looks better, which is a nice touch. Um, yeah, it's hard to see a phone on a screen, but
Oh yeah.
um,
I mean, you can tell already, like his face doesn't look like just one
Mhm.
color. You
Yeah.
can see the stubble, the beard there, and
hmm
his hair doesn't look just one color. It,
hmm
it it adds a lot of depth and a lot of character just
yeah,
straight away.
yeah, and yeah. And I don't. I opened the other two X-Men figures. I don't know if I'm in love with them, but I do actually really like this cable. But yeah, if I were to, like chrome out his arm or like chrome out some of the stuff on his belt or those kind of like small touch things that doesn't like call a ton of attention to it, but I think can make a big difference in the figure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna bring up Toby as well. Toby's really good at just like those little touch-up things because he showed the Madam mask, and he
Mm,
redid all the
Oh
gold
yeah.
on the mask and the gun, and like the yellow gold that they use is like Nerf yellow. It's like very much not like metallic looking, and yeah, it just looks like so much better. And that's the kind of stuff that I really want to start doing is like just little touch up things, little gold here, a little silver there, or whatever to make things stand out. I don't know if I'll ever like get super into customizing like full figures head to toe and painting and all that, but just like the touch up type stuff to help with QC problems or just making something look a little more accurate. Like, yeah, I want to start working on that. I need to like get some Vallejo paints.
yeah. I was gonna search for it right now, but my wife is currently searching for new shoes for our kids, so I don't have to keep that on screen. But yeah, I'll show the paints that I got from Amazon. Um, I think they were Vallejo paints. Just as yeah, as you had said, Tiger. I think it's this one.
Citadel, Vallejo, Army Painter are all really, really great paints that you can get, and I highly recommend. I've used all three. Yeah, I believe I have that set as well.
Hmm.
Um, it, just great. Like it's a bunch of colors that are really, really useful for different sort of things that you might want to do. Uh, and they're made for like fantasy war gaming, Warhammer type uh little models, so they're already fairly thin, pretty high quality, but yeah, they're good.
Yeah. I'm at the point now where I might order another set because I've my paints are starting to run low, but besides purple, which obviously you can make by mixing, red and blue. I wish there was a purple, maybe a pink. But all these colors have been super useful to me. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, crappy picture, but yeah, I think they call this like dark green. This is goblin green. Um, they have like monster brown. Yeah, there you go. Sand, gray, like yeah, it like anything, most things that you would need in terms of like, doing touch-ups or whatever, like it's covered in this pack, which is like $35, I think. Let's see.
I'm gonna
42.
order that just
Yeah.
soon.
So yeah, like $40. It looks like there's another advanced set. They spelled it wrong. But yeah, there's this one which looks like it has some of the colors that I was, well, it just has purple basically. But this is
At
actually
least the same as
cheaper.
with purple.
Yeah. So I think this is more. I don't know, but anyways, yeah, I think that's a great place to start, Tiger, or anybody listening. And then, um, yeah, these are just these are brushes that I got off of Amazon as well. I got a set for like $5 when I first started. They were bad. Um, I don't recommend going super super cheap on the brushes. She had mentioned in the video that I had showed the brushes that kind of like semis, like people that want their miniatures to look good. Those brushes will cost like $10 to $15 each. Um, but for the stuff that we do, I don't feel like I'm at that stage yet. So um, I'm fine using lesser quality brushes. Um, is there a set that you? I see Jade grabbing something.
Yeah, I got this I think it was like $20
Oh, that's
for all
nice.
these. Um
Yeah.
and it doesn't have any of the dry brushing brushes or anything like that. But I yeah, I can just go grab a makeup brush and that should be
Yeah.
fine. But it's got like pretty much every range of brush that I could ever want. It's not terrible quality. It's not particularly great quality either, but certainly, enough to hold a shape, to
Hmm.
keep, paint in the tip. Um, so I'm not worried about, getting the brushes frayed or anything like that, or uh, you know, any loss of paint or anything, or getting dried paint stuck in the bristles. It's pretty nice. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah. This is the one that I have, $12. So basically $1 a brush. Way better than the really crappy brushes that I started with. Um, been very happy with them. Um, yeah, $13. So um, yeah, plenty easy to get started. And then obviously if you want to kind of go up from there, you can. But yeah, I think she has her brushes. I don't think you can see the name. I don't know. But yeah, there are brushes that are really nice. But again, I don't think unless you're completely remaking a figure or making something brand new, you don't need to jump into that level of brush. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. There's another guy I watch who's like he he does recommend like getting some of the higher quality brushes. Basically, he just recommends that you don't get terrible brushes, but ones that'll last you a long time, and that are actually decent quality. And then he actually does recommend getting terrible brushes, but only for like very specific things.
Mm,
Uh, like he always talks about because he has a series on grim dark painting where you sort of just like go over
mm,
a really dark color with a lighter color, and you do it through stippling and like a sponge. But
mm.
also, if you have like a terrible brush that is very frayed, it'll work really good for doing that same effect. So like, there are uses for those types of tools, and a lot of his tools that he uses for sculpting too, because he does a lot of sculpting are like handcrafted, and he just
Yeah,
files down a piece of metal.
yeah. Yeah, I think my customizing goal this week is to find an old makeup brush and then maybe to try making a wet palette.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that'll do it for us this week. Um, got my three-headed dragon. Um, there's like other like movies and stuff I want to talk to you guys about, but we'll save it for next time.
All right.
Um, but yeah, I think that'll do it for us. What do we got coming up this week? I think just the Marvel Legends Punisher Nick Fury two-pack is going up on Thursday. That expensive Wonder Woman is also going up on Thursday. So guess we'll touch on those next week. But if you're looking for those and you're listening to this, consider pre-ordering them with us. We always appreciate it. But yeah, with that said, this has been the Froggy and Friends podcast. Give us a subscribe, a like, a share. We're basically just doing this for the fun of it, but if more people start listening, great. That'd be cool too. So, I'm Froggy. These are my friends. That'll do it for us this week. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Yeah, have a good one.